Hey, the Swedish Nationals was last weekend, and I have the results for you guys. Let me just bring up a PowerPoint here. So these are the results of the Swedish Nationals 2025 in Stockholm. The pack itself, to remind you guys, was 1,000 points. They had a slight multi-rocket launcher nerf, and they had a 16 order dice cap. It was rulebook armies and PDF armies only. So the armies of Germany was not allowed, but even so, a lot of people were bringing Germans nonetheless. There were 34 players, and you can actually see all the rankings if you zoom in quite a lot here on the screen. The results were that the winner was CJ with his 16 order dice Finnish armor spam. He had a lot of BAs, BA 10, 20 thingies. So the Finnish really ruled this one here. And as far as I could tell, he was the only player bringing Finns. There was another Finnish player signed up. I don't know what happened to him because I haven't got his ranking. Simon came second. I had rated Simon to do that, to be in the top. He had a 14 order dice Soviet Su-76 spam. I think he had 4 or 5 of those. I faced one of them at the Danish Nationals the same weekend, one of those lists with Su-76 spam, and it is hard, let me tell you. Those Su-76s are really good. Frederick came third with his 15 order dice Soviets, MSU, and armor, so multiple small units and armor. Jonas Renlund came 14th fourth with his 14 order dice German gun line. It was the best placed gun line, which was a little bit of a surprise for me. But I'll get back to that in a minute when we sort of look at the main takeaways from the Swedish Nationals. And fifth was Andreas with his 16 order dice British with doubled forward artillery observer and lots of regulars. So, who lost the Swedish Nationals? Well, people who didn't bring armor. So people like there was a single partisan list that didn't do well. There was one Japanese list that didn't do well. There was a couple of guys bringing lots of infantry that didn't do terribly well. Italy and France, I had not rated to be in the top mostly, except maybe there was one French army which had battle snails and artillery observers, and they did okay-ish. They were sort of in the middle, Italy and France, so I don't think we can deduce much from that result. My predictions had I forgot to change. This is a copy paste error. Anyways, my predictions was that Gregor and Jonas Renlin and Jens with his Americans and Joel with his Americans, Simon and Stefan with their Soviets would be in the top 5. That didn't really pan out. As you saw, I only had 2 people picked out that ended up in the top 5. Again, I think my list evaluation, how good is a list, is off, and I think potentially I need to go and fight in the Swedish Nationals to just have a peek at who is good in Sweden. Right, I know some of these players. I played with some of these players in tournaments with some of these players, but not all of them. So I need more data. My main takeaways. Some things were surprising, some were not. It wasn't really surprising once I had a peek at how tables were set up. They were very V2 for me. That a lot of people were bringing gun lines and camping. It was very, very popular. So gun lines is when you bring multiple HE weapons, most of them direct firing. Camping is when you have infantry that can sit in your own back line and shoot, right? It was very, very popular. A lot of people brought that. Armor was also very, very popular because that's what you need in order to move out, in order to do stuff if everyone is bringing gun lines, right? It also wasn't surprising that armor really did well. like of 16 people who had invested heavily in armored platoons, so had multiple armored vehicles, 10 of them were in the top half and only 6 were in the bottom half. So I think that speaks its own very clear language. If you want to be in the best brackets, you need to bring armor. You can't just be relying on infantry, and you need to bring a lot of it. The best placed armor list was first, and the worst one was 27th. Hordes did poorly. That wasn't surprising. Infantry really fares poorly in version 3, in my opinion. Barbecue and recce platoons were absent, more or less. And that wasn't surprising either. These two platoon types are not powerful enough. Barbecue can still be done and done well, but you need it's very difficult, and with open tables, it's practically impossible. Recce platoons need a lot of line of sight blockers in order to work, and I don't think they're powerful enough. So it's not surprising that they were not really there. What was surprising was that gun lines, even though the tables were very open, did rather poorly. Only 4 out of 14 were in the top half and 10 were in the bottom half. I think that's because gun lines are not mobile enough to go up and take objectives. I had predicted that they would do better, but I stand corrected. Death Stars did average, which is also surprising for me. So 6 people were bringing Death Star lists with very heavy or medium plus tanks. And 3 of them were in the top half and 3 of them were in the bottom half. But they do tend toward the bottom half because the best placed Death Star list was in 8th place, whereas the worst one was in 34th place, so last. So congratulations to CJ for winning this, and congratulations to all who went to the Swedish Nationals. I hope you enjoy your weekend, and I will see you next time. Cheers.